Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the unboxing for you of the Apple iPad Air 2. The successor to the iPad Air first released last year, where we did see a design change, and this year Apple has once again gone ahead with a few small changes, but the general design does stay the same. So the device is now 18% thinner, coming in at just 6.1 millimeters thick, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And with the reduced thickness, it does also have a laminated glass display, so there's no longer a small gap between the display and the touch panel on the iPads. They have also beefed it up inside with an Apple A8X processor that is 3 cores paired with 2 gigs of RAM. And for those who still take pictures within tablet, it does also have an upgraded camera that is now 8 megapixels. And also, not to forget, the iPads now also have Touch ID, and unfortunately on the side of the iPad minis, there wasn't any changes pretty much whatsoever aside from just the Touch ID. And in front of me, I do have the gold model, and that is also one of the things they introduced this year, gold iPads. So let's go ahead and open up this iPad, and as always, the unboxing experience is pretty familiar. On the front, they try to show off the thinness of the iPad, and last year they did say it was the same thickness of a pencil, but if you did see Apple's release video, they did try to show that it is now 18% thinner, and in fact, thinner than a pencil. Just cutting off the plastic wrap here, let's just take that off. And we are greeted with the 9.7-inch display with the same resolution as before of 2048 by 1536 at a 264 ppi, but like I mentioned, it is now a laminated glass display, so it feels like you're actually physically touching the different elements of the display, as in the past you may have noticed there is a small gap between the iPad's display and the touch panel. Personally, I'm not one to really use the iPads that much. I do use my iPad mini quite often to just watch videos, but I do also have a MacBook Pro 13-inch Retina that I don't find myself using much as I would like to. So just setting the iPad aside, I did pick it up in gold. I was pretty curious to see how that would look. And you also have your standard wall adapter for charging, your instruction manual with all the typical things such as a quick start guide, these Apple stickers, and just some safety and warranty information. And lastly, the USB Lightning cable that is for charging and syncing, so no surprises here. Now let's just boot up the iPad for the first time and just set it up here. I'm actually just going to speed it up as the process is pretty much the same as before and I don't really want to bore you guys. But now that we're able to use the iPad for the first time, obviously I haven't had a lot of time with it, but the performance, as you'd expect in terms of everyday use, you won't really notice any speed improvements, although it now has a 3-core processor with 2 gigs of RAM. And just from using it, I would say that if you already own an iPad Air, there really isn't a huge reason to upgrade unless you think the camera changes are crucial or you must have the Touch ID and feel that it is worth the extra cost. But in terms of the laminated glass display, I really didn't notice a massive difference at all. Like I said, the iPad does come in at just 6.1 millimeters thick now and weighs in at 437 grams. This device in the hand is just so amazing in terms of the way it feels, and it's really hard to believe that they were able to make this device just so thin. And also look at the pencil reference I did mention before, and you can see it is sure thinner than the pencil. And here's just a size comparison between the iPad Air and the iPad Air 2, and I feel like a large part of the thickness reduction is because of the laminated glass display, as there is no more gap between the two elements. I have to say, from looking at the gold iPad, it looked much better on the website. The website had more of a rose gold look to it, but in person it is more of a yellowish gold and quite comparable to the iPhone, and I'm not sure if I'm exactly a big fan of that on an iPad. You'll also notice that they have removed the mute switch, and the button layout is more comparable to what we see on the iPhones this year, and also a look at the 5-element 8 megapixel camera that has also been upgraded. But that's pretty much it for this video, and be sure to let me know down in the comments section what you think of the iPad Air 2 and whether or not you think it is a worthy upgrade and if you would be picking one up for yourself. I'll see you all in the next video.